and welcome to the Shiny Bees podcast, a podcast for those who like their knitting, comedy and yarn in equally large measures. I'm your host Jo Milmine, and this is episode 42, an interview with Justyna Lorkowska.
I feel a need to laugh again with you, if that's alright. I need a drink, I need a friend.
Hello and welcome to the show, everybody. I hope you're all well since last time I spoke to you. Today is Monday, the 12th of April 2015, and I'm back again with an interview for you that was recorded at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Today, the interview is with Justyna Lorkowska, and for those of you who aren't familiar, she's a Polish designer with a wide variety of designs in her back catalogue, ranging from little newborn baby beanies all the way up to beautiful cabled and textured garments. Her style is generally about the cable and the texture, and she's another one of these designers where you don't necessarily realise how many of your favourite patterns she has designed until you look at them all together in one place. She's just released a new pattern in the last couple of weeks called Florrick, and I'm sure you will have seen it because it's been all over Twitter, which is a cardigan, and on the back there is a twisted rib detail cinching in at the waist and then going back out again, which is really pretty. But she's also responsible for a variety of other patterns, and in my favourites in my library I found the Alecia Beth cardigan, which is a beautiful cabled faux cabled, the tiger eye cables cardigan with buttons down the front with a scoop neck, which is lovely. It's been in my queue for ages. There's Alice in Wonderland, which is a short sleeved top with buttons again at the front and a textured detail around the top of the yoke, if you will. There's Fickle Heart, which is a lovely hoodie, and for the little kiddies there's Goldilocks. She does have two small children and they are her muses in a lot of respects in terms of her designs. So she has a range of designs that for grown-ups, for the ladies, some for men as well, but a lot of the garments in particular are for women, and they are lovely. If you're looking for kind of a textured or cabled piece, then she's definitely someone you're going to want to be checking out. And she has quite a lot of patterns for the littler people in our lives, and I've already knitted some of them myself, and there's definitely a few more gone in the queue since researching her prior to Edinburgh. As I said, we got together at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and as you heard on the previous episode, number 40, where I interviewed Stephen West, the acoustics weren't particularly good, and it was quite loud in terms of background noise. Now, during Justyna and I's interview, we had to move location 3 times, and as such there will be a change in levels and ambient noise as we move from one place to another. I hope this won't be too distracting for you. The setup for recording was not really how it had been planned to be or foreseen to be, unfortunately this time. Hopefully that will be rectified next time. Then we can get a lot more interviews for you for next year. But it's still, it's still quite listenable too. It's really interesting. What I would say about Justyna is she's smaller in real life than I expected, unlike Kate Davies. She's quite a petite lady, but she's lovely. She's got a massive smile all the time, and she's just got a really warm and friendly personality, which was something that struck me. I mean, there's loads of lovely people who are knitting, etc., but she in particular came across as being really warm. She is trained as a primary school teacher. Maybe it's that, maybe not, maybe she is just really lovely. But I very much enjoyed chatting to her and getting her opinion on things, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you guys now. So I suggest you get yourself a martini or something else suitably glamorous for a Monday, and we'll crack on with the interview. super. Well, thank you very much for agreeing to come and have an interview, Justyna.
Oh, thank you much for having me.
That's okay. It's great to have you on the show and to see you in Edinburgh. So, for those who aren't familiar with you and your work, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to be interested in all things yarny?
Well, first of all, I come from Poland and I live in Toruń, and I came here for the festival and for Vicky, of course, from Eden Cottage Yarns. And I started designing by accident, actually, because I used to be a teacher for many years, a teacher of English, and I taught in elementary school and in private school. And probably like most of us, when I had kids, I recall that in the past I used to knit. So that's what I did. I made a small vest for my toddler back then, for my son who was like, I don't know, a year and a half. And I could only probably knit and do a little bit of purling, but mostly stockinette. And back then, I wasn't designing, I was just making some kind of a vest, and it was seamed. Can you imagine that? Who seams right now? And it was made in acrylic, right? So I made it, and then I went online and I Googled different things, and I found out that there is a whole new world out there of knitters. I found Ravelry, and that was it. It clicked. And then I started making things that were designed by other people, until I finally started making things that were my own. And actually it really started when I published a hat for Petite Pearls. It was, because they're closed right now, it was an online magazine for kids, American. And I liked it, and more people started asking for some designs or some things that I made, like, Justyna, you should write it down. And I started writing it down and started making things for myself, started making accessories and garments. And now it's become quite serious, and I'm not going to be teaching anymore, probably. Well, definitely not English. maybe some knitting stuff, right? But not English, and I really, really like it. And probably this is something that I really want to do right now, and I really love the fact that I don't have a boss. I'm the only boss, right? So if I do something wrong, I can be only angry with me, and I really love it and want to keep doing it as long as possible.
Oh, brilliant. So, what was the tipping point then? Because obviously it seems like you're just coming up to that point where something you've done for a fun thing has gone into a business and probably now a full-time venture.
Well, probably, after this hat, but then it was, you're right, there was a little bit of playing, with designing, and I wasn't really serious. But then some people, started asking me, like, Justyna, would you design something using my yarn? And I also started looking for some yarn support, because there aren't many yarnies in Poland. There's just one girl, and that's it, right? So I started looking elsewhere, and my first collaboration was with Tanis. Tanis Fiber Arts, and I saw that it's really, really nice to collaborate with someone, and first of all, you get to get the yarn you want, not that's something that, that's there in the update, and you have to pick and choose. And I found out that is something I like, and both of us are really happy with the collaboration, right? And more people started asking, and then then you have deadlines, and it's becoming a job, actually, when you have deadlines and there are people that rely on you and you rely on them. And so it's not, well, it is fun, right? Still, but it's become serious, and that's how it's become a job, right? And now when I make things, most of them are either collaborations or something that is planned beforehand, right? From time to time, I do have a tendency to just cast on and make something that's somewhere back in my head, but most of the stuff right now is just planned and has deadlines. But I like it.
So you don't find that deadlines affect your creativity?
A little bit, maybe, but not in a bad way. Well, deadlines definitely make it faster, and they if you get a deadline, you you make it actually, right? But if you don't have a deadline, I see that I have a tendency like, oh, so maybe this idea is wrong, so I'm going to wait a little bit longer, and then I wait and I wait and I wait.
Yeah.
And the design is published like a year later. I do have one sweater that I made a year ago, and it's still not published, right? Because there are some other things coming, and this one is sort of waiting, and well, it's being worn by me all the time, right? But there are people coming to me like asking like, oh, when are you going to publish it? Yeah, it's in the making. It's going to testers very, very soon. Yeah, but you know. So, and also when you design without a deadline, you can just let go. You don't really have to sketch, and you don't really feel pressed when you need to rip the whole thing, right? So this is a little bit better, yeah. But I like both ways. I mean, it turns out I like all the stuff I make.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, what does the average day look like then for you?
Well, since my younger kid is with me all the time, well, basically when we get up, my husband takes my son to kindergarten and I stay with my daughter. And we just, make breakfast and typical day, boring day, not of a knitter, but of a mum.
Yeah.
So you do the laundry, you make dinner, you make lunch actually, you go for a walk, and you then, if you get a chance, sit in front of the computer and reply to some emails, or at least read them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you wait, until, say, 4 p.m. I go and pick up my son. And then kids have a time when they play together.
Yeah.
So it's getting more relaxed. Yeah. So I work in the evening when everybody's either asleep or doing their own things. And my friend, she asked me like, Justyna, when do you have time to knit and to work? Actually, well, in the evening. Oh yeah, you're right. I noticed, the time when you reply, it's like almost midnight. Yeah, this is the time when I can actually focus and nobody is pulling me away from the computer, right?
Yeah.
Like, Mommy, I want this, I want that. But in September, Agnieszka, my daughter, is going to a kindergarten too, so yeah, then I'm going to actually work in the day.
Yes. That'd be novel.
Yeah.
Do they hold your knitting for you? Do they hold the wool?
Yes. Well, every time I get a parcel from a yarny or from a store, she's the first one to get it, and she's asking like, is it for me? Well, Aga, not yet, but possibly in the future. Then I open the parcel, and she grabs the skeins and cuddles them, like, oh, Mommy, this is so soft. I want it. A hat, a dress. Like, yeah, maybe at some point. Honey, well, give it to me. We don't want to unwind it right now. So, yeah, but when they see me knitting, they don't think, well, Mommy is knitting. They think Mommy is working.
Yeah.
So for them it's a little bit different. And it's so normal, and when they see on a cartoon or somewhere like, oh, this lady is Mommy, see, she's working just like you.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, actually, to be a child with knitting parents. And just like you showed your son, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's brought up with yarn since, being a kid, so he's going to be a knitter probably in the future.
I'm not sure if he will. Because I have a little girl as well, and she definitely will, because I've trained her to hold the ball, because she wanted to hold the wool, and trained her not to unwind too much of it. And she sees the cartoons, and there's a cat playing with the ball.
Exactly.
You mustn't play with the knitting.
Exactly.
I'm like, that's right.
That's right.
Touch the knitting.
Exactly. So this is, we are teaching all the good stuff to our kids.
They do have a little ball of drops that I let them play with, a little ball of mustard-coloured drops that they kind of wrap around the couch.
Oh yes, we went through that phase too. When I had a small ball of Wojtek and my son, he used to go around the whole living room, making pathways or web.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, good, it's acrylic only. I would cry if you took some merino.
Yeah, definitely. But it's only drops. It's not expensive. It's like, have that. Please don't touch any of the things in this bucket.
Exactly.
So, can you talk us through your design process? When you come to a new garment or a new shawl or accessory, how does it all kind of start and progress?
Mostly starts with either a sketch or just the yarn.
Yeah.
Sometimes Well, I've made a couple of shawls, for example. The shawl I brought here, I made for Vicky Ashling.
Yeah.
This one actually started with a sketch that was, well, it looked like the shawl, but I don't really have the idea what kind of stitch patterns I would use.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew what I would use for the body, but not for the border. And it just, when I had the sketch, I tried to make it as close as possible.
Yeah.
And it worked out perfectly. But sometimes there are designs which I have in my head. Like I have a black shawl I made in Florrick yarn. It's called Sequus shawl.
Yeah.
Shawlette. And I knew I wanted to mix Estonian lace with some kind of, well, contemporary stitch, which is garter. And I wanted to have a different shape. And I cast on, and I made almost the whole shawl. I put it on the floor. It's like, I don't really like it. And I ripped the whole thing. And my husband was like, oh, what are you doing, woman? I mean, chill, take a chill pill, it's gonna be okay. And then, you know, when it clicked, I made it in a day. I just sat down in the morning and I bound off at night, and it was ready. And sometimes it happens like that, you know, that you just make a shawl and you rip in the middle of it because there's something not working. You have it in your head, you don't really want to sketch because it doesn't work if you sketch. What you have in your head at that point. And sometimes it starts with just a sketch. So mostly collaboration starts with a sketch.
Yeah.
So when you talk to the yarnie, you sometimes you need to propose something. So you sketch a couple of ideas. But sometimes some of the yarnies give you, you know, a free hand that you get the yarn and just play with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I start playing with it, and there's a stitch pattern that I see and I want to put it on a sweater. Or there is a shape that I see somewhere, for example, like the dropped shoulder, like, you know, the dolman sleeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see it and you want to try it, and it either clicks or not. And you either have something really cool or not. Yeah, so basically it starts with the sketch or the yarn. But you get the most fun from it when you just play with it.
Yeah.
Even if you rip like 5 times.
Yeah. That's the beauty of knitting, isn't it? You can just rip it out if it goes wrong.
Yeah, I finally understood that this is the part of the process, right? So, because initially I was getting angry, like, I don't want to rip it. Then my husband comes to me like, Justyna, you get to pay. You know, you get paid for ripping. This is your job.
Yeah.
You rip so that other knitters don't rip. So stop complaining. Just get to work. And then I say, yeah, this is part of the process, you know, and that's it. And you have to get good yarn so it doesn't get messy after ripping 5 times.
Exactly.
That's the only thing you need to care about.
So going on from that then, and talking about ripping things out, no kind of journey as a business lady or a designer or a mom or anything else really goes that smoothly, and sometimes things happen and things don't go to plan. Can you think of a time that happened and what you learned as a result of something not going to plan?
Well, I do have a shawl, and it didn't really go as planned at all. Again, I had a shape in my head, and I was working on it. It's a shawl, the vampire.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. It looks sort of like the bat wings.
Yeah.
And it was not planned at all. I mean, in my head, it was supposed to look sort of like a wing, and I ripped it 5 times, and it's a short row shawl. So I learned definitely how to pick up my wraps perfectly the 5th time. And I learned that, well, short rows are really, really awesome, and you can get so many shapes using them, and then afterwards you get a really, really nice design that you really weren't planning to. So, and also they teach you how to be humble.
Yeah.
You know, the ripping, that, well, don't get nervous, and also knitting should be mostly about fun, right? So if you accept that ripping is learning something new, it's learning how the yarn reacts in your needles, right? what the stitches look like, and because sometimes you may use lace, sometimes you may use cables, and you rip because it doesn't look the way you want it to do.
Yeah.
So, and it teaches you how to be humble and not to get nervous. Like, everybody probably also, they come to you and say, oh, you must be so patient, that you're a knitter.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not. You should know me in real life. I'm absolutely not patient. Yeah, but it teaches you how to be humble and how to be patient, right? Not that you are initially. So this is really, really nice.
Yeah, definitely. And even within this, you don't need to, there's different people who can just be free form and just play with stuff. And then there are people who are just like, I want this and I want to knit it and I don't want anyone distracting me. I want this thing and I'm going to just knit that.
Yeah, exactly. So ripping is good.
Ripping is good. Well, according to Westy, ripping is not good. He never rips anything out.
Really?
That's what he said. He doesn't rip anything. He just merely flings it to one side and picks something else up. I think we've got a lot in common.
Yeah, but I made a sweater, a thing, for the collection I published last year. And I made the whole sweater. And, I stood in front of the mirror. I was like, I don't like it. And I ripped the whole thing. The whole thing. It was, the yarn was cut because I was alternating.
Yeah.
And my mother-in-law, she was like, oh, what are you doing? You have the whole sweater. Like, Mom, I need to do it. Yeah, and I can't really imagine just leaving it there and, lying there around and waiting to be finished. No.
Don't come to my house.
Ripping is good.
To my house. So which other knitwear designers inspire you and why?
I definitely love Suvi Simolo, I think it's her name, and Vera Valimaki, right? Because, they are the aesthetics are really nice because they are simple, right?
Yeah.
And I've noticed that I'm more and more inclined to making simple things. I'm not brave enough to make the whole sweater, in stockinette, because basically I get bored in the middle of it. So I try to put a detail here and there, but the clean lines, simple lines, and they are really, really nice. I absolutely love what Jared Flood is doing. Their aesthetics also. I love playing with color. So, Stephen is a great, teacher of how to play with color and how to get out of the box.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else right now. But mostly it's the color, the yarnies, not the designers, that they put different colors together, and then the pastels, and like Vicky, she's so good at pastels.
Yeah, she does understated very well.
Oh, brilliantly, yeah. And sometimes you go into saturated colors also. I do have a couple of friends who make pretty yarns like that. But it's not that the designers, it's everything around probably. Also the knitters, just people around, and I do love also Woolly Wormhead.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm a huge fan. She's wonderful, and the hats she can make, whatever she makes, just awesome.
Yeah, she's very good.
And she's a wonderful person,
Yeah.
I love her.
Oh.
Yeah, in Brighton, I was like, I have to take a picture with you. Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh. So, which one thing do you know now, do you wish you had known when you first picked up a ball of yarn?
That cashmere peels.
Probably. He's so rock stars like cashmere. Peels, darling.
I know everybody, they love cashmere. But I'm just a merino girl. And, I'm a mom. And you're a mom, so you probably know it. You want something that it's, durable, that wears well. Yeah. Especially if you can put it into the washing machine.
Yes.
And cashmere peels. I do also something every knitter should know, that you do need to swatch, and you do need to swatch silk. Yeah, because silk has a tendency to grow a lot, right? And it's heavy. And now I'm getting more and more drawn to wool, like typical rustic wool. So probably merino's like here. I've had enough of it. But what would I change? What should I know? That sometimes yarn bleeds, that cashmere peels, and to check the yardage every time you buy yarn, and to check the lot.
Yes.
That you need to alternate. So these are the things I tell knitters in Poland, like, you guys need to alternate, you know. This is something that makes your knitting prettier, right?
Yeah.
You don't have this part where the bottom is darker, for example, or the sleeve, you can see where the sleeve started.
Mm-hmm.
If you were marooned on a desert island and you could only take one skein of yarn, what would it be and why?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one. Could I take one suitcase of yarn?
No, one skein. So it could be a long skein, like Kate Davies took some lace weight, so she could knit some
Not lace weight. We talked about it, not lace
yeah.
weight.
So possibly not lace weight.
Well, actually, it might work. You know, if you're on an island, you have nothing else to do.
Exactly.
So I might actually, start knitting lace. Well, so probably the lace weight, because then I would have nothing else to do, and probably fingering yarn, because it's so versatile. You can make a shawl with just one skein, right? Or you get yourself 2 skeins in different colors, and you get a colorful shawl. Then you can get 3 skeins, and you can actually make a sweater, right?
But you only lay one skein.
Oh yeah.
You only lay
yeah.
one skein,
Okay.
and you have to tell us which one it would be.
I got
Who
carried
dyed
away.
it, who dyed it, what colour it is, if you can get that specific, just in case,
Oh gosh, which color? This is easy. Green.
Green. Is that
Yes.
your favourite colour?
Oh yes, very very much. If you dove into my stash, you would see basically green, recently grey. Yeah. I'm getting out of the box and I'm buying purple.
Ooh.
Yes. I used to hate purple, and now I'm also inclined to get some maybe orange, or Vicky has a beautiful color. It's called Twig. I saw it yesterday in somebody's shopping bag. Like, oh, I want that. So definitely a skein of green yarn, possibly fingering. If it was 3 skeins, that would be even better, but I can't. And yarn, the brand. Well, right now I'm a huge fan of Vicky's yarn. I also met Fides from Sidegarte.
They're lovely.
Oh yes,
How
and
nice is she?
well,
And the yarn.
I got 3 skeins of the color green, green yarn, and it's a wonderful blend of silk and linen.
Yes.
It's pretty hard when you touch it,
Yeah.
right? But I just said like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a wonderful top.
Yes.
So something on an island, so something really really airy. And again, we come back to fingering.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably this. So I'm really inspired by those 2 girls right now.
Super.
I'm really bad at limiting myself, as you can see. So I have to pick more than just one. Even if I go to a store, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to pick.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so what's your favourite sort of go-to resource for yarn craft or business that you couldn't do without?
Can you repeat the question?
Well, what is your favourite resource, either for your business or for your yarn stuff that you couldn't do without? So a lot of people say Ravelry or an accountant or lockable stitch markers or...
Also Ravelry. Yeah, because everybody's there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, if you're not there, you're not existent probably, right? So definitely Ravelry, and there are also some website I used to visit when I was in Poland, like some forums. So Ravelry, then like you said, stitch markers. What else? A crochet hook that I use for picking up stitches. Yes, definitely. And some dictionaries. Yes, my favorite books. And actually, before coming here, I got some. I ordered on Etsy some dictionaries with Japanese stitch patterns.
Ah, right, yeah.
So much inspiration. Oh my gosh, I was like browsing through. Oh, I want this. Oh my gosh, I won't be sleeping this year probably. Yeah, so definitely dictionaries, Ravelry, and some gadgets you use for knitting, and probably also a whip bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you do need to have a couple of them, because I'm not monogamous in my knitting, and so you do need to have a couple of them just to keep your knitting in place, especially with kids.
Yes. Zips and buttons, things that are hard, preferably with a padlock.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, brilliant. So where can the listeners find you on the internet and in real life?
In real life, in Toruń, in Poland. But I like traveling, and I'm traveling more and more. I travel a bit around Poland, so Polish knitters can meet me in different towns in Poland, but I try to be a visitor at festivals, right? So last year was Brighton, this year is Edinburgh. I also talked about other festivals this year, so in Berlin, I'm going to be there in May. Berlin Knits.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, there is going to be a festival, and I started planning the next fall, so possibly I'm just going to talk to my husband about Switzerland.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Kaya Lana's doing a...
Well, Fides invited me, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, Justyna, you should come. Like, okay, I will talk to my husband, and we'll see what happens,
It's
right?
the first weekend, isn't it, in October?
Yes, first weekend. I can't remember the dates exactly right now, but it's the first weekend. And I keep getting invited, by my friends in America to Rhinebeck. Like, oh, Justyna should come. Like, yeah, well, that is a lot of money. Well, these are my dream places I like to go to. So, hopefully it works out. But online, I do have my own website, which is called letesnits.com. It's leteknits.com. And I'm on also Facebook. There is a fan page of Lete Knits, and I think it's the easiest way to get in touch with me, because I'm on Facebook all the time. Also, if somebody likes to, he can friend me on Facebook, just as Justyna Lorkowska, right? And I'm on Ravelry. Not as much as I would like to right now, because I do have some deadlines that I need to finish, and if I log on, then I'm not knitting. You probably know it. Yeah. So I'm avoiding it, just, popping in from time to time on my mobile to check what's happening. But yeah, I'm there. So definitely you can find me on Ravelry website and in real life, hopefully. Come and say hi.
And Instagram as well.
Oh yes,
Instagram.
I forgot about this one.
Yeah.
I'm most active on Instagram, and I forgot
Yeah.
about this one.
Your kids are very cute.
Thank you. Well, they do love selfies, and they don't mind if I take pictures or anything. So yeah, on Instagram also as Lete Knits, right? So
Cool.
yeah, I still don't get along with Twitter. I mean, I'm there, but I don't feel it at all.
Yeah.
Probably because, I used to have a blog. I mean, I do have a blog, but I'm not very active right now because of the work I need to do. So I was taking a lot of pictures,
Yeah.
and Instagram is just perfect. You do get to have the picture and a couple of words, which is what I'm good at, right? So I probably, you can say that I moved to Instagram from my blog, but I do try to blog from time to time. Yes.
Yeah. For something a little bit longer, it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but with kids, it's like I start writing the post in the morning and I finish 2 days later.
Yes.
Like, oh gosh, I wanted to say so much.
Yeah.
And
I
I
don't
end up-
auto-publish it for you.
Yeah, and I end up writing like 5 sentences. Yeah, so Instagram rocks, really.
Yeah. Oh, do you have any sort of words of advice for people thinking about getting into the industry?
Words of advice. Well, try to find what defines you.
Yeah.
Definitely, because this is something I've noticed that there are many designers out there, right? And well, right now, if for knitters, it's really, really hard to pick and choose somebody they like, right? And I see that they feel, that if somebody is really into it, if this is the person's life, so make it something that really is yours.
Yeah.
That you're knitting, whatever you make, your design tells, oh, this is this person's, right? This is this designer. And what else? Don't give up, I think, because, well, as I said, I don't want to call it career because it's, I don't want to be snug or anything. But my knitting adventure started by accident.
Yeah.
So if there is a chance, just grab it. Yeah, if somebody says hi, somebody wants to do something with you, just grab it and do as well as possible. And also go out there to knitters, listen to knitters, because, well, they are your customers.
Yeah.
You're making things for them, right? So you want to be with them. You want to talk to them, smile to them, and, take selfies. Yeah. Well, this is your job, actually. It's not only knitting, right? Your life becomes your job, right? So you shouldn't be afraid of using Instagram. You shouldn't be afraid of using social media, right?
Yeah.
Because, everybody, I think everybody's interested in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what's working. And try to be real. Like, make your designs real, make them, shout that this is you. And don't be afraid to get personal. I mean, not like, very, very much, but just to, to give them a little bit of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is it. And be brave.
Just have a go.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
So what's next for you then? What can we expect to see from you this year?
Well, actually, this year is booked. Oh gosh.
That's good.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
Is there anything you can tell us about that's booked for this year?
Well, I can tell you about a publication that's happening today. Actually, well, my husband is actually clicking publish in a couple of hours of Ashling.
Oh, yes. Tell us about Ashling.
It's a collaboration I made with Vicky, especially for this festival, for Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and it's a shawl made in her fabulous Titus fur ply, which is an awesome yarn. I mean, so lightweight and so airy and so beautiful. And I picked up 2 skeins from Vicky in pastel colors, pink and blue. And, they were lying there in Brighton together, and oh, this is a shawl.
Yeah.
I need to have those. And my husband, oh, this is not your color. I don't care. I need to have those.
Yes.
And they were lying there for a year. And when I talked to Vicky, we decided we would make a kit, and I would make a shawl, and let's go romantic. I mean, this is a shawl for a date. You wear it. You go out with your husband or your boyfriend or your husband to be. You wear this shawl and you feel pretty and romantic. That's why we picked romantic colors for the kids, right? Yeah. And it's sort of a crescent shape, which is very wearable, I noticed, and it has a little bit of stockinette with eyelets, which gives the impression of lace on the body, and it has a knitted on border, right? Which is cabley and lacy. It's not as difficult as it looks, right? The wrong side is just knits and pearls, no decreases or anything like that, so don't worry about it. And so this is the publication I have today, actually. And in a couple of days, I think we said something about 21st of February, I'm going to publish a cardigan that I made together with C from the Uncommon Thread.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a cardigan that's inspired by Alecia Florrick from The Good Wife.
Ah.
Yes. Yeah. She has, her stylist has perfect taste. Yeah, and it's inspired by one of her cardigans. And it's very, very simple. It's contiguous because I love seamless designs, and it has a thingy on the back. I don't know if you've seen it yesterday, because I was wearing it yesterday.
I was looking at the shawl.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
You were rocking well. Everyone was kind of pulling at the shawl whilst it was on you. So.
That's okay. So that's this month. Then I do have a couple of a publication for a magazine. Yeah, and it's due in April, I think. So some magazines in the future, and I'm doing a small collaboration with a different designer, which I want to keep secret for a while.
You don't have to tell us all your secrets.
Yeah.
You can come back and tell us about it once
we
it's
can. And some collaborations, some designs for kids, designs for grown-ups. So I do. Oh, I definitely want to publish the design, I made last year, and I still haven't written down. So it's due this, hopefully enter summer. And what else? And there are some nice really things, ahead. And and next year I would like to focus more on submissions, because, well, submissions take a lot of time and they have crazy deadlines. Like, you get submitted and you have a month to make it.
Yeah.
And I'm really busy this year, so I'm just sort of pushing the submissions away from me a little bit. But next year I will try to work on this, and, well, maybe a book in the future. Ooh. Yeah, I do have a book plan, but I'm still thinking about the inspiration and what I want to say through the book. Right?
Yeah, so sort of tie it together.
Yeah, but this one's going to probably take more than, a couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like in a year or maybe 2 years, something like that. Yeah. That's the plan. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you might just have a bit of a flurry of activity and release it in a fortnight. You never know.
Well, I'm not that good. I do knit fast, but not that fast. And one day, I'm going to just sit down with the yarn without a sketch or anything and just make something. That's also a plan, yeah. So, because there are some designs that I have on my desk, like some sketches that, came to my head when I was taking a shower or falling asleep. Yeah. This is when it happens, when you take a shower or when you go to bed. I just, draw them very, very fast. They look messy. I'm bad at drawing, actually. And they are there waiting, for the right moment when the deadline's finished. So I do have a plan, to make them at some point. Yeah. Just to have fun and to design, something that's, in my head. Yeah, but exciting things are coming, and I'm really, really excited, for the people I will be working with. Yeah. Because actually, this job is so awesome. You get to work with so many talented people. Mm. Yeah, and you get to play with yarn all the time.
I know, it's cool.
Yeah, and, I'm still, I have moments when I come to my husband and say, like, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky that I'm doing what what I love so much, and, that it's actually working out, and I'm so grateful to everyone, that's supporting me. Yeah. Because this is really, really awesome. I used to, be a teacher at a school, right? And I love kids and I love teaching, but the bureaucracy, I hate it. And this is really, really awesome. It's like an adventure, and I'm waiting, for it to finish. It's like, you don't think about it, just do what you're doing. It's doing great, and don't think, that it's going to finish one day. It's not. It's not. This is your job right now. This is your life right now. So just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope it works.
It will. I'm sure it will.
Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you very much for agreeing to come.
Thank you very much for having me.
In 3 different locations.
That's okay.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. It's really interesting to hear all your story and your inspiration. So.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No worries.
So did you enjoy that? She's lovely, isn't she? A huge thank you to Justyna for coming onto the show and chatting to us and sharing all of her inspiration and some exciting news about what's going to be coming from her this year. The Ashling kit is available for general purchase if you are interested in that. That she mentioned a couple of times. That was the kit that she did in collaboration with Eden Cottage Yarns. That is available on the Eden Cottage website, and it comes with a little tin of flower seeds to plant to go along with your lovely romantic shawl. So that's available in 2 colours, and then there is actually a new add-on. So you don't have to use the colours suggested that they've picked out for the pattern. You can go and pick your own colours and then turn it into a kit with the little bolt-on Ashling kit add-on part. So that's quite cool. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes, and also there will be links to everything else that was mentioned too. So you can go and check out all of that stuff. I'll put a few pictures of my favourite patterns up through the show notes as well. And head on over to Ravelry and check out all of Justyna's patterns. Well, all that remains for me to say is thank you very much for listening. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think and send through any feedback that you've got for me on the usual channels. I hope you all have a lovely week. Happy crafting, and speak to you all again soon. Bye. You've been listening to the Shiny Bees podcast, a podcast for those who like their knitting, comedy and yarn in equally large measures. If you'd like to get in contact with me, you can do so via the blog, or I'm Shiny Bees on Ravelry, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest and Facebook. You can email me at shinybeesinfo@gmail.com. Music for this episode is provided by Music Alley, and it is Adam and the Walter Boys and I Need a Drink.
I need a drink.